Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan International Raceway here, over here with the Great Lakes State, over here for the Hyperdrive Cup Series, their second race of the season here, um, coming back from an exciting Daytona finish. But hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your main commentator here, and in the booth with me I have Gavin Austin, and here producing for you tonight will be Carter Kingsley. But lastly, Gavin, how you doing tonight?
I'm great, Christian. Couldn't be better. I'm excited for this 100 lap race here at Michigan. These beautiful next gen cars. I think it will be a great race, and I can't wait to see how it plays out tonight for some of these drivers.
No, I'm very excited to see how this race comes out to play, right? Michigan very known for how wide and how many grooves the track has. I mean, you can fit, you know, kind of commonly known 5 cars if you want to going down the back straightaway, kind of throughout the whole track here. So it really gives a lot of grooves and a lot of lines that these drivers can run. You can go down and paint the white line, you can go up and paint the wall here. But very interesting, and it's one of the I feel like the more racy tracks that the NASCAR Cup Series goes to on the schedule.
Yeah, as we're currently watching the 20 get some laps on the track. We're coming to 2.5 minutes left in practice. You see them entering turn 1 and 2 at the moment. This track is very different, multiple different lines. You'll see some drivers run way at the bottom near that yellow line, up top, or even in the middle. So it's going to be interesting how some of these drivers are going to race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing I love about Michigan is that it's so wide that you can run those different lines. It's fun to see, especially, towards the battle throughout the middle of the pack, people willing to take it 3, 4 wide and making these different lines work and being just adaptive, right? You see a guy on that is really good at running the bottom, but he's slower. You can go up and run in the middle. You can go up and run the top, and it's really cool to see there. But right now, looking at Jacob Quill, currently your fastest in practice. So definitely someone to look out for a potential dark horse for this race.
Yeah, Jacob Quill didn't have the race he exactly wanted last week. So he's trying to go into Michigan here with a win to try to get higher up in points. Last week's winner was Zachary Trevino, who's currently third in practice, so he has some speed here at this track. And Bobby Helms is in second. So it's definitely going to be interesting how this race plays out with a lot of top drivers fastest on the track at the moment.
Yeah, Bobby was out there towards, and at the Daytona race making his word known there. But Logan Brink, who we're looking at right now, also someone up there towards the front there. We thought maybe he was going to be the guy to beat there at Daytona, but unfortunately things kind of fell apart at the end there, and just wasn't able to completely put the whole race together.
Yeah, rounding off, 15 seconds left in at practice. Qualifying is going to start very shortly as, once again, these drivers are trying to get their last couple practice laps in, practicing qualifying and maybe even the long runs, pit stops, whatever it takes for these drivers to feel more comfortable heading into this race.
Yeah, and this is a really good time if you still have a little bit of time left. Go out there and maybe do a mock quali run to see how hard that car can be pushed here. Right now, track temp is 101 degrees, so pretty decent for a good hard run here. So maybe a couple of drivers trying to get in there, trying to feel how the car wants to drive here, and get ready for this qualifying session to go underway.
Yeah, practice now coming to an end. Drivers finishing at their practice laps now. Um, it's definitely going to be interesting to watch these drivers try to set fast laps. Once again, a lot of fast drivers here in practice. Jacob Quill fastest in practice, so I wouldn't be shocked if he carries a bunch of speed into this qualifying run. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, I always tend to look for the kind of the fastest guys in practice to maybe lead the way in qualifying because obviously that's the fastest single lap. It's not like a fastest 5 lap average like that you see a lot that we can show you guys like in real life. It's usually the fastest lap on the track is what you see here. Right now it looks like we're right on board with the 88 car. That is Keon Milani. See what he can do here.
Yeah, Keon Milani, you see coming out of pit road now onto the backstretch out of turn 2. You see drivers are going to run this outside lane in 3 and 4 to try to carry as much speed as they can out of turn 4. Um, So it's definitely going to be interesting watching some of these drivers. Some drivers tend to do it, some drivers don't. As you see, he's going to take the apron to start his lap off. So first lap is now live for the 88 Toyota machine.
You're gonna see him. He's gonna go up there towards the wall. He's gonna arc it down on the bottom here. He's not gonna go all the way down to that yellow line, but he's gonna run that second line here and slowly work that car back up the track, going down the back straightaway.
Yeah, on the back stretch now. Great run at the moment, trying to get it done, going into turn 3 and 4 now. Arcing it once again, not going to that bottom line. He's just right on the seam of that second line. Trying to get a good exit onto the front stretch. Looks pretty good to me. Cutting it under the apron now, heading to front stretch. See where it puts him. First lap was a 39.520. So, great lap by him at the moment. Second on the board, Jacob Quill on top.
Remember, Kalani has the second lap here. Let's see if he can improve on that lap. Right now, Kalani falling back to P4 right now in qualifying. And coming into turn 3 and 4, you know, he really needs to... It looks like he is about a tenth faster than he was on that first time. Now 2/10 faster, but let's see if he can keep that speed up here.
Yeah, Jacob Quill, our pole sitter at the moment, he's in third at the moment, but trying to get back to that first position, coming out of turn 4 now. Second lap as he got loose, coming across the line. He does sit fourth now, but the 88 is now on the top of the board. Never mind, drops back to second. Logan Brink in the 24 machine now, the top of the board.
Yeah, what a flyer from that 24. I mean, that was a full 4/10 quicker than Milani there, but now Zachary Trevino, your points leader, is going to take the pull away with a 39 flat.
Yeah, our winner last week at Daytona had a great race there, obviously ending in victory lane. The last lap pass, trying to get it done once again in Michigan, possibly getting a second win in a row. But once again, 100 laps here in Michigan. It is a longer race. A bunch of strategy will be involved, but still on top of the board, once again, Zachary Trevino.
Now we're looking at the third car of Gregory Robinson, currently P7. Got his laps out of the way, so right now, fastest lap for that machine at 39.36. Yeah, looks like he's going to be in the P9 position here with a minute and a half. Still plenty of time to have some of these drivers come back out here and run a lap here. As we see a new driver out on track here, that is the 29 of Tyler Merritt. Let's see what he can do here on his third lap. So he already completed his stuff, but that will put him in P4 in qualifying.
Yeah, not a bad starting position at second row at the moment, with just a minute left in qualifying. Might see a couple more drivers trying to finish their laps. So we're currently on board with... Now we're watching the 34 Ford machine coming out of turn 4 now onto the front stretch. Trying to get it done.
And 34 coming out of that lap. That's going to put him 6th. That's Nicholas Road, 39.232. That's going to be a P6 here. Now looking on board with the 32 machine of Chase Crawl. Also done with his, and he sits in P11 with a 39.30.
I believe this is Chase Crawl's first start this season. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does. I don't believe he started last week's race at Daytona. So once again, first start, going to be interesting how he will race in today's race.
But with qualifying wrapping up right there, Zachary Trevino going to be opposed to Logan Brink, and Max Ford going to round out your top 3. But
Yeah, great job by Zachary Trevino, last week's winner, starting in the front row here at Michigan. That's how you want to do it. Great starting position. You know, it's definitely interesting that he's been the top contender this far in the season, so far in the season. But we're gonna get ready to show you our starting grid here at Michigan.
And waiting all these drivers to grid up, but yeah, a great point. I mean, talk about taking that momentum from Daytona and taking it right back into Michigan here, as we have some warm-up laps here. Gonna see some drivers, you know, maybe practice some pit road entry and everything else here, and yeah, gonna see some drivers come around here. Looks like we're on watching the 88 once again of Milani trying to run some laps. It looks like he's running right behind. It's like the 20 car, I believe that is, of Jacob Quill. You know, Jacob quickest in practice, so not the best qualifying for him, but we know he's going to be up there. Just needs to keep that car clean and make up those spots as soon as he can.
A lot of drivers practicing pit speed. You know, because we saw some speeding penalties last week at Daytona, and that's a very valuable time that you can lose. Because we saw multiple green flag pit stops. So if that does end up happening in today's or tonight's race at Michigan, you want to make sure you follow pace speed, and it's definitely hard carrying the amount of speed you are at this track to slow it down that much entering pit road. So a lot of drivers practicing that, taking four sides, kind of taking both sides, trying to time their pit stops here.
I see the 92 of Thomas Skladel. Hopefully I'm saying that right, and he's actually replacing one of your drivers here. I believe that is Zachariah Cartledge, who he's subbing for. So hopefully that 92 can do a good job for Zachariah there and get him a good finish.
Yeah, Zachariah Cartledge was our third place finisher last week at Daytona. Almost got it done. Was so close, but on the tribal, had some contact. Ended up finishing third, just barely. Podium finish for him. Great start to the season, but won't be able to make this race here at Michigan. So once again, like Christian just said, he has a driver subbing in for him. So it's going to be interesting how Zachariah puts his puts his car on the sub's hands. We'll have to kind of watch that and see how it plays out for him here at Michigan.
Exactly. I mean, sucks that Zachariah can't be here, but obviously we believe that he probably puts all that trust in that driver to Thomas to make sure that everything is taken care of there. Obviously, we know he wants to be here, but sometimes life happens, stuff gets in the way here. So, yeah, hopefully that 92 can have a good run here. You know, as Gavin mentioned before, Zachariah having a good run at Daytona. Hopefully that momentum can carry over here into Michigan.
As we see kind of like a three-wide pack, or three-car pack, out of turn two as they kind of wreck. No, it's definitely interesting how this track plays out. I've said it multiple times, different lanes, but it's also, you could get extremely loose if you have one side of your car on the scene and the other car not. It's extremely hard to keep this car in control. As I think maybe today in tonight's race we'll see some drivers possibly lose control, because it definitely is hard to handle here at such a big track like Michigan.
Yeah, and that's a big thing is it's because the track is wide doesn't mean there's, you know, you can run every group here. I mean, there's definitely going to be popular groups like the bottom and the top and maybe even the middle that you can run, but that doesn't mean everybody wants to run there, and that doesn't mean everybody's car is going to want to run there. And this little practice session before the race gets kicked off is really showing you fans at home a really good showing of what you might see in a race with the 2-3 wide that we've seen. You know, during this warm-up session.
Yeah, pole sitter Zachary Trevino practicing green flag pit stops right now, his entry. He's going to have that first pit stop today, so it's good to have a pit stop up front, but if you do end up having pit stops under the green flag, or sorry, under yellow, it could be difficult, because when you're starting that up front to that line, it's hard to get a good exit. So no, some prefer not starting up in that first box.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like, you know, it's a little bit easier to find your box when you're in the middle and you see, you know, that your pit sign down. Obviously, it's difficult to get into pit road here. I feel like in general on almost any track, but you know, definitely, you know, being towards the front, I think definitely has its advantages. But obviously, everybody has their what they like and what they don't. So. But with that final practice one wrapping up here, we're going to get ready to get your starting lineup underway here, presented by High Velocity TV.
Yeah, drivers are now hopping on the grid now. As just like Christian said, starting lineup coming right up. here at Michigan for tonight's race. 100 laps. So it's a long one, but it's definitely going to be fun to watch.
As we see that, Zachary Trevino, your pole sitter here for tonight's race, with Logan Brink starting on his outside in that number 24 machine. See Max Ford in the number 11 going to start in third place there with Finnegan Myers rounding out your fast four. Tyler Merritt and P5 with Bobby Holmes in sixth place. Starting at P7 is going to be Nicholas Rode and Thomas Gladdle going to be in that P8 position. Christian Zarati in that number 15 machine is going to be lining up in the ninth place with Kendorian Davis rounding out your top 10.
Heading in to row 6 is Dylan Waterman and Gregory Robinson in that number 3 machine. Right behind him in row 7 is Chase Crawl in that 32 machine, his first start. And right beside him is Kian Milani in that 88 machine. Heading in to row 8 is Jason Bottoms and Jacob Quill, who didn't get the lap he really wanted here at Michigan. But wouldn't be shocking if we see him up front somewhere throughout this race. Heading into row 9, we got Brennan Larson and David Farnan. Heading into row 10, we got Kai Collymore and Peter Hopp. In row 11, we got Riley Ibanez and Jackson Brown. In row 12, we got Michael Wingo and Rex Rowe.
Starting at 25th is going to be Joshua Gilbert with Miles Davis in the P26 spot. Xander McKinney and Brogan Whitworth gonna be your P27, P28 driver, and Nicholas Johnson and Aiden Covarrubia is gonna round out your field here.
As the driver lineup was messed up for a second there, sorry about that. But once again, pace car lights are getting ready to go off as we're gonna go 1 to green here. Once again, Zachary Trevino starting in the first position on the front row. On his outside will be Logan Brink, so it will be a Chevy front row, 7 versus 24.
Yeah, once again, Chevy lockout once again here for Michigan, but once again, but not the same for the inside. You see Max Ford and that Toyota on the inside, and you see Finnegan Myers right now having some internet connection issues in the P4 spot, but you see him not in the track right now, so that might actually give Bobby Helms that P4 position in that number 6 machine.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Once again, 100 laps here at such a big track like Michigan. Coming in from Daytona. Once again, Zachary Trevino was our last week's winner. He will be starting on the front row once again. So it is definitely going to be interesting watching him trying to get a two-peat win. But once again, pace car lights are off. The pace car truck is getting ready to hook a hard left out of turn 4, and we're gonna go green.
Yeah, 100 laps here, and as we talked about before, a lot of dynamic racing gonna happen. Long race, so but I definitely anticipate some of these drivers to be aggressive here at the start here. A lot of fast drivers here. You're gonna see some drivers like Jacob Quill, who didn't have a good quality lap there. That's gonna try to drive through the field here pretty quickly here. But pace car is going to take that hard left turn over here. 100 laps here. Going to hand the race over to Barney, going into the Geico restart zone. And we are green here from Michigan. here. Max Ford gonna take the lead away from that number 7 machine. He's gonna lead your first lap.
As Zachary Trevino 2 wide for second on the outside of the 24 machine. So once again, Max Ford leading this race at the moment, coming into turn 2 onto the backstretch on lap 2.
You see that number 7 machine kind of hung up on the top there. Not the fastest way around the track here, especially on the fresh tires. We have a caution.
Lap 2, first yellow of the race. Lap 2 of 100 laps. Gonna take a look and see exactly what happened. First yellow very early on in this race. To see drivers starting to slow down.
Looks like maybe the number 27 of Miles Davis caught up in here. So let's see if we can find him and see if he can show us what happened here. Looks like it's between Michael Wingo and the number 66 of Xander McKinney, all the way back here towards the back end of the field.
So Michael Wingo and Xander McKinney, 2 drivers involved. We're trying to get it up for you 1 second.
Looks like can I get a good camera angle on it from here, but watching back on it, looks like the 01 just gets a little tight here, gets into the left quarter of Xander McKinney. Xander comes down, hits the wall, comes down. Unfortunately, gets into the side of Miles Davis in that Freightliner machine, but not a lot of damage on any of these cars, but it just looked like a lot of pushy shovey at the start of the race that we see here. Typical, racing here at Michigan.
Yeah, so Michael Wingo, the 01 machine, driving the 01 Chevy machine. He's really new to iRacing, 3 months in to iRacing. We've seen him get better. He's raced some other leagues we've called before, but it's definitely fun watching his progress throughout these past couple months. So once again, Michael Wingo and Xander McKinney, involved in the first yellow on lap 2 of 100.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael, runs in the SSR family as well, in the Xfinity and the Truck Series. So yeah, I made a great point. Michael, very new to the sim, everything else here, and yeah, was running towards the back here, but especially I'll give him props. I mean, the Cup car is probably one of the hardest, I would say NASCAR cars to learn with how unpredictable and how twitchy it is. So definitely easy to overstep that car, and you saw, unfortunately, him getting in the side of McKinney, and McKinney, collecting a couple other people here. But that's just hard racing at the start of these races, and unfortunate for the guys involved. But we're gonna continue to see Michael improve throughout the season in every league that he's in that we broadcast. So yeah, unfortunate, but quick yellow here at the start of the race.
Yeah, very unfortunate for something like that to happen this early on. Luckily, not many cars involved, but it is going to stack up the field once again as pace truck lights are getting ready to go off. So we are going to go 1 to go, 1 to the green, and getting ready to go back green. Once again, Max Ford took the lead. He's now leading this field. He's going to take us to the green flag in that number 11 at Toyota on his outside. Last week's winner at Daytona, Zachary Trevino. So it will be a Toyota Chevy front row. We'll look out in row 2 because it will be a Chevy versus Chevy in that second row.
Yeah, I definitely think Zach really wants another shot at a restart here. Started out the front there, but just had not a good first couple laps here. Definitely think this is what Zach wanted to see, is just another shot to maybe retake this lead here. But Tyler Merritt right there up a spot here, making himself known up there in that P4 spot. And then we saw Max Ford take the lead here early, up 2 spots. But look at Gregory Robinson back there in 7th, up 5 spots, starting in P12 already up to the P7 position.
Yeah, Max Ford's kind of the lone Toyota at the moment. We see in row 5 a couple Toyotas back there, but that's far back from where he is at the moment. So he is kind of the low Ford, and it's really a Chevy field, not really a Ford in sight. But once again, the pace truck is getting ready to hook a hard left. The field is blinking on the broadcast. But we are getting ready to go green here once again at Michigan, as the pace truck is getting ready to hook a hard left on the pit road.
Pace truck off, going back into the Geico restart zone, and now the 11 will lead the field down here.
Max
and the
Ford.
11, let's get it to green here.
Max Ford, Zachary Trevino front row. We see the inside jump in the first pit outside lane. Zachary Trevino, not the start he really wanted. Max Ford out front with a 24 right behind him. But it will be a Toyota leading this field at the moment into turn 1 and 2.
And looking almost 3 wide for that P3 spot. You saw the 29 and the 92 looking underneath the 7 there, but they're all going to get strong single foul here. What they're battling back here is for, P7 back here. There's a hornet's nest back here from like inside.
As we're watching that now, 3 wide. We see the 3 car in the middle. Connor Murphy and the 20 on his inside. See now the 3 car goes back 2 wide on the bottom. Very interesting racing so far.
And we talked about him in the pre-race. Jacob Cole already up 8 spots here, making play underneath. Number 3 Gregory Robinson. We're going to make some contact there. Use him up there. But he's already up to the 7th place spot up here, up now 9 spots, and he's doing what he needs to. Now another wreck. Caution out once again here. Looks like that's the 38 machine of Brogan Whitworth. Bring out the second caution.
Second yellow of the race, lap 7 of 100. So we see that Ford car rolling very, very slowly on the backstretch.
And once again, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's Michael Wingo getting loose out of turn 2 there, gets into the 38. Gets into the side of the 38 here. Luckily, only those 2 were involved. You saw Zander McKinney get through there pretty quickly, but gonna have to call it radio style. Unfortunately, we cannot get the cameras for these replays on the broadcast. But yeah, unfortunate for the 01, unfortunate for the 08, but definitely the drivers who are not happy with Michael Wingo right now, causing 2 wrecks with only 8 laps completed.
Yeah, only 8 laps in. We've seen 2 yellows so far. Very interesting this early on. Once again, lap 8 of 100, still out front. Max Ford in the 11 Toyota machine. Behind him is a 24 Chevy. Still kind of the lone Toyota out front. Really, Chevys all around him. Don't really see any Fords except that one Toyota back in that 7th position or 6th position of Murphy.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see some cars going out. Oh, I thought going down pit road. You see the 6 Bobby Elms looking like he's going to, but he did a good job faking me out. So, but it looks like everybody, obviously with 8 laps, 9 laps complete here. You're probably not going to see a lot of cars down pit road unless they maybe got some damage from those first 2 wrecks.
Yeah, definitely interesting. 9 laps in, we've seen 2 yellows so far. Very, very, very early on. But both involving the 01 machine of Michael Wingo. So it is definitely going to be interesting. 2 yellows this far in the race. It's definitely going to be interesting if this race keeps playing out how it's going right now. But kind of like last week up front, it's really a Chevy show besides Max Ford leading this field. But it's pretty much he's just swarmed by Chevys right now. That's kind of what we saw last week at Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely Daytona, Chevy powerhouse at Daytona, but you see, that lone Toyota going up here and leading the field right now, and it looks like the 11, very strong car at the time being right now, but we did see another Toyota, drive through the field of that Jacob Cole machine, so definitely looks like maybe the Toyota group is starting to show up, bring some pace to this 2-mile track.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Seen a lot of cars blinking throughout this race early on. but the pace truck lights are getting ready to turn off. We're gonna go 1 to green once again. Max Ford kind of dominating this race so far. Zachary Trevino, who started on our pole, out back there in fourth. So second row still, very early on. It is interesting to see that Toyota out in front at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, and it definitely shows that, you know, you can definitely drive your way through the pack here pretty easily. I mean, obviously with tire wear, if we continue to get these cautions, I think that's something that you're going to see these drivers continue to do, is try to be aggressive. Make up as many spots as you can here, but if we do start to get these green flag runs, you're going to see some of those guys. You will start to see comers and goers here at Michigan with how big this track is, with how aggressive you can be with the car. You might start to see some comers and goers if we can stay green here for a little bit.
Yeah, if we do get some green flag laps, then I think it will definitely be interesting, because then we'll get some strategy involved. It's kind of interesting if we're going to see some drivers, you know, trying to take it easy, save some tires and maybe possibly fuel, because this track can definitely damage your tires or your tire wear. There's a lot of tire wear at this track.
Yeah, I mean, and it feels also something you're gonna have to look at. It looks like looking at my data. I mean, they can go just about 40 laps here, but as we go there, we're back green here at Michigan.
Stream is now coming out of turn 4. Pace truck goes in to pit road. Got the 11 car taking us to the green flag, the 24 on the outside. We're back green. Max Ford, big jump. Outside line doesn't really get going.
So you see the 11 take a huge lead. I mean, a gap here, and even though this is kind of a not a super speedway, there's still enough draft here that you have to think, you know, they're definitely going to get a run back up to him, and this is 11's going to be in a very vulnerable spot.
Yeah, we saw the 24 get into the wall just a little bit out of turn 2. But here comes Zachary Trevino on the outside of the 29 heading into turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, you see Trevino really dedicated to kind of run the top this whole race. The bottom here. He really likes the top here. And you saw him start to make it work here. You're going to see maybe not quite, but I mean, right there, that shot right there is going to really show, I mean, how dynamic the track's going to be. You see all of them all the way up against the wall here. I see some people electing the bottom, some people electing the middle.
Yeah, Zachary Trevino ripping that outside lane. Some may call it the Larson line. Very hard to get that high and not have contact with the outside wall. Zachary Trevino really good at running that outside lane. But still out in front, the 11 machine of Max Ford. He's still the Toyota. But onto the front stretch, we will lead another lap once again. But Zachary Trevino trying to get it done in third. Stays low, makes a move high behind the 24, heading into turn 1 and 2.
Now Logan Brake trying to make that outside work, just like the 7 is here. See the 11 trying to take a little bit more shallow entry, but but you're gonna see the 24 elect to stay behind there, but he's gonna try to, you know, stay as close as he can to the 11 machine here. You see him try to look underneath him here, not quite enough though. Right now, a little bit of single pile up there, but you still see a battle for that P5 spot. You see the 3 underneath the 20, trying to make something work down there.
Yeah, heading into turn 1 and 2 once again. Still that 11 out in front, but Logan Brink right behind him trying to get it done. So you see him running a little bit lower than that 11 machine. Coming out of turn 2.
Caution out once again here.
Yellow is out once again. Lap 15 of 100.
42. Having some issues here. Yeah, that's Dylan Walterman in the 42 machine. Looks like, I don't know, maybe something broke on that car, but it looks like, I don't know what to think about that, but it looks like the 42 having an issue here. It gets really sideways on the entry and just kind of overcorrects into the outside. And unfortunately clicks the 5 car of Joshua Gilbert there. So Unfortunate to see those two wrecked out, but a ton of damage for that 42 machine.
Yeah. We're still having technical difficulties. Looking in the back. It looks like Logan Brink decides to stay out. Max Ford does end up going into pit road. So the 24 will take the lead. Logan Brink, Max Ford, currently riding on board with him in pit road, that 11 Toyota machine. One of the first pit stops, or pit boxes. So we're going to see if he takes fuel in both sides, 4 tires. It is definitely going to be interesting. Some drivers deciding to stay out. Max Ford decides to pit and bring some drivers with him, including Zachary Trevino, our pole sitter. Zachary Trevino looked to just take fuel and go, as we see Max Ford taking 4 tires.
And while we get the opportunity, we're gonna go and pay some of the bills here, and we're gonna take a quick ad break here. But we'll be right back after these messages from our iRacing sponsorship here. Lights are off on the pace truck, and we are going to be going green here, going down the backstretch here. 17 of 100 complete here, and now the 24 Logan Brink out leading your race here. Tyler Merritt, P2, Bobby Helms, P3 driver, and Gregory Robinson going to be your fast forward. But definitely a shakeup in the lineup here, as we saw some drivers come down pit road there, as we saw right before that commercial break. So definitely a new set of faces here at the front of this field. See the pace car take that hard left turn back on that pit road here, and this will hand off the lead to the number 24.
Once again, it's a Chevy.
And we are going to be green here.
Chevy front row. Logan Brink gets a jump, clears the 29, across the line. Heading into turn 1 and 2, still out in front. 29, trying to stay behind him.
Yeah, you notice that the inside really does have a good jump on the start. Everybody who's started on the outside line has not had a huge wreck in the back here, but the outside has just not had a good jump on the field.
Yeah, yellow flag is out once again, our third yellow of the race, lap 18 of 100. We haven't really seen a lot of green flag racing just yet. So we're gonna try to get the replay for you guys once again.
Try to see who caused this.
I believe the 13 was involved. I'm gonna try to get the replay of it.
As we see.
Oh no.
It looks like the 11 involved as well.
Yeah,
He's gonna,
Max Ford, who was running up front, decided to pit, was involved. We're gonna get a replay of it. You see him starting in the back, gives a huge shunt to the car in front of him. He didn't get the best start.
yeah, it looks like that's really where it started. They were almost 5 wide going into a turn 3 there. Or turn, blah, blah, blah.
One.
In the turn 1 there. My apologies. And you see the 11 just getting the back of the 4 there, and just a lot of people nowhere to go here. You see just a lot of people just trying to get out of the way here. Unfortunately, it collects a lot. At 66 is Andrew McKinney, huge hit to the outside wall. That's probably a race ender for him. You see Michael Wingo involved once again. You see the 11 involved. You see the 5 car involved once again. The 13 involved. Lots of cars damaged in this, in one of the bigger wrecks of the race.
Yeah, we couldn't really get a shot of everyone getting involved there in turn 1 and 2. Still having problems at the moment with the sim. But once again, Max Ford, who was running up front in that 11 at Toyota, involved. Still out front, though, leading this field, Logan Brink in that 24 Chevy. Still pretty much a Chevy race. It is interesting, or it is going to be interesting to see if we can get some green flag run going on.
Yeah, I mean, and that really showed that maybe track position does matter here. We talked about, we had a couple laps where like Jacob Quill and some other people could drive through the field, but now it just seems like we can't get going enough to do that. You saw Max Ford, he pitted, and now he got caught up in that wreck because he just had nowhere to go. So maybe you're going to see some guys elect to maybe stay out a little bit longer than maybe they want to, just for a strategy reason. If we can't stay green, we're going to see some drivers adapt to that. So we might see some guys maybe stay out here, do something a little bit different than what you usually see out of Michigan.
As we see some lap cars deciding to get their lap back on the outside. Once again, Pace Truck is gonna have his lights turn off, and we are gonna get ready to go 1 to green here once again. Here at Michigan. Very, very interesting. 20 laps in. I believe this is our 3rd yellow. So pretty much back to back yellows. Haven't really seen a lot of green flag runs just quite yet. But once again, Logan Brink is going to lead us back to the green. We got the 32 in 6th. This is his first start in this series. In that 3rd lane on the outside, you see Michael Wingo in pit road. Xander McKinney now leaving pit road. So multiple drivers in pit road trying to get their damage repaired. It's definitely interesting though. Heavy damage to a lot of cars this early on. Definitely will affect strategy-wise for some drivers not even involved.
You see some cars on the outside getting their laps back. Appears to be the 12 of Finnegan Myers, 3 laps down right there, getting a lap back here. So lights are off on the pace car, on the pace truck, I believe. So we will be going green this time, going into turn 3.
Once again, Chevy front row. Still a Chevy locked race with Logan Brink leading this field once again. Kind of the dominant racer at the moment. We don't really see any Toyotas or Fords till I believe that 4th row with the 88 machine. So still Chevy front row as we're getting ready to go back green. The pace truck hooks a hard left as the drivers are getting ready to go back into the Geico restart zone. We are back green here at Michigan. Once again, Logan Brink gets the better start on the inside. The outside lane doesn't get the start they really hoped for. You see the 3 car now getting a big push by the 16 heading into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, you see the 3 car going to look inside here of the 24. 24 is going to get better going off the outside here. And here comes the 29, going to look for P2. It looked a little sideways there, but he's going to take that P2 spot over.
A lot of moves so far. You see in the background, we see Zachary Trevino back there in that bright blue car trying to make it from the inside to the outside, but pulling away at the moment is that Zachary Trevino ripping that outside lane. We saw him doing that earlier on. Definitely his fastest line of what we've seen so far. Still running towards the back after the pit, trying to make his way up to the front.
You see that everybody's stacked up on the top here, very close together here. You're going to see a 3 wide back there for it looks about 6 or 7. Then another caution here. Going to
Wow.
be out.
Another
Looks like Miles
yellow.
Davis maybe had a say in this, maybe?
Miles Davis, I believe that number 2 machine, we saw him 3 wide. Might have been involved. Not exactly sure what happened. I'm not
I really
sure.
don't see a wreck here, but we'll definitely continue to look around here and see what's going on.
I don't
See,
think Miles Davis was the cause of it. I think it might have happened further on in the back. As we see, Miles Davis kind of pulled it off track. Once the yellow came out, I'm not sure why he really parked it though. Still leading this race is Logan Brink. We're gonna try to get the cause of that yellow for you guys. It
I
might have
see right
been
here, right here. It is between Nicholas Johnson and the
Johnson.
number 13. We'll see. We see him around in the infield here. You see the fort. We'll see here.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
3
it
wide
looks like.
back there. Once again, the 11 machine of Max Ford comes down on the 13's nose and kind of causes the 13 to go sideways into the infield, collects the 14, and the 13 has a huge hit into the inside wall. 14 doesn't really have a lot of damage. I think the 13 got the worst of it.
Yeah, Rex Rowe involved in that, and it just looked like the 12. I mean, the 11 really didn't know that maybe there was a guy underneath him and kind of just turned down the track, and unfortunately there was a car there and got the 13 upset there, and round he goes with the 14 of car in the infield. Unfortunate. I mean, you figured with a couple cautions down and under, they might have got the wrecking out of the way, but still everybody racing very aggressively with 25 laps complete.
Yeah, very, very interesting to see. One of our top contenders, Max Ford, I believe that's the second incident he's been a part of this race. Logan Brink still the dominant race car out in front. He's really led the most laps, but it's pretty much been most of the laps have been under a yellow flag so far. As I believe the longest green flag run we've had is like 3 to 4 laps. So it is definitely going to be interesting how the rest of this race is going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, and Logan has really taken over the race since that 11 car pitted, right? We thought Max might have been the guy to beat. I mean, he seemed pretty quick, obviously with a small sample size. But now, I mean, mired back in 15th. You see him getting caught up in now 2 wrecks back to back here. Just unfortunately not what he wants to see here, but still have some good moves to the field. You know, Gregory Robinson in that P3 spot. He's up 9 spots, along with Keon Milani in that number 88 up 9 spots as well. You see Kai Collingmore back in just right inside the top 10 in that number 23 machine, up 10 spots. So definitely you see some people taking advantage of these short runs and trying to make up spots as quick as they can.
Yeah, Kai Collingmore trying to get some spots, just like Christian said. You see him in that Toyota white and blue machine. Once again, pace truck lights are going to go off. Zachary Trevino in that 7 Chevy machine we see right there on the right side of the screen, trying to make his way up through the field. Was our last week's winner at Daytona. But once again, pace truck lights are off. We are getting ready to go green here once again on lap 26 of 100.
You see Zachary Trevino. You talk about him, right? The pole sitter. You expected him probably to be a little bit more competitive. I mean, he ran the fastest lap, pretty competitive in practice, but you know, gave up the lead on the restart of the race here at the start, and it just slowly slid back here. But we know he's got pace. We know he's got the talent to be up there. He just needs to, you know, put a couple laps together. You see a car parked down there on the bottom of the apron here. Looks like the 12 car. Finnegan, maybe trying to give a lap away back. Maybe he accidentally passed the pace car when he wasn't supposed to. We're gonna see him drop to the end of the field here.
We do see a Toyota. For this Toyota, we've really seen, besides Max Ford earlier on, it's Keon Milani in that 88 machine. He's going to be restarting 5th. As once again, Gregory Robinson made his way up to 3rd. Still Logan Brink out in front. but it is going to be interesting. Pace truck is getting it ready to hook a hard left back on to pit road. It will be a Chevy front row once again. As Logan Brink is going to lead us to the green flag.
24 v 29 here, down the line, going to the Geico restart zone. Great jump by the 24. He's going to follow him through there, going out of the start-finish line here. You see the 3 and the 29 battle for that P2 spot.
Yeah, Logan Brink, definitely the driver to beat right now. The inside lane has just had really good starts so far. The outside lane is kind of fallen back. We see a couple drivers get into the inside or outside wall as we have another wreck in the back. Yellow was out once again. Didn't really even make half a lap. We're going to try to see exactly who that was. Thomas Gladdle looks to be involved. The number 92 machine who's in place of, I believe, Zachary Cartledge this week. As Zachary Cartledge, our third place finisher last week at Daytona, wasn't able to make this race. As you see the 92 go around there, blinks out. But Thomas Gladdle, we saw him up front earlier on and just involved once again.
Yeah, it looks like just I don't know if maybe he was reacting to 23 and maybe just, lost concentration, or if he just lost on his own. It looks like the 92 just got loose out of turn 2. Unfortunately grabs the side of that
95 machine.
Yeah, the 95 machine, and yeah, just a lot nowhere for that 95 to go. I think he got that someone else on the outside there, but looks like just drove it out a little bit too quickly, and unfortunately lost the car there, and around that 92 is going to go.
Yeah, Nicholas Road also ended up having contact with that 92 machine, so his Ford has some right side damage after that wreck. Not sure if he's going to take it into pit road to try to take some of that damage, but it is still Logan Brink out up front, as we have another yellow once again. Logan looking to go down pit road. As he does, he takes some drivers with him, including Milani, and that Toyota machine takes most of the field with him, but some of the drivers that did pit earlier on decided to stay out. Max Ford, I believe, is one of them.
He took a good chunk of drivers here, about a good 10 drivers here, but you're starting to hear in the race chats this employment of frustration from the drivers. Some of these guys just want to go green and start to run some stuff out here, but unfortunately not been able to happen here. But now you're going to see kind of what are these drivers going to do, right? You saw the 11 pit early. Max Ford is going to, get all that track position back into the P4 spot. He pitted only 13 laps ago, so, and now he's got a lot of the track position back. Now all these guys that pitted, the 24 is going to come out around the 15th place area-ish. So, I mean, now the guys who are running up front just kind of flip track position with some of these guys up here. Jacob Quill's going to be in P3, Kai Collymore, and now Tyler Merritt is going to take over your race lead. Obviously, who's racing up there in the top 3 and just decided to stay out here for this caution.
Yes, we also see the 20 in that third position. That's Quill. We saw him trying to make his way out up front very quickly, fastest in practice, didn't get the qualifying lap he wanted, has made his way up to that third position now, 29 laps in. Jacob Quill, great race so far, making his way up to third, lowest 18th, as the pace truck lights are going to go off this time, as we are going to get ready to go green once again here at Michigan.
And definitely an up and down race for Quill here, but I mean, up here in the P3 spot, you're gonna see him probably be competitive here. It looks like no damage on that Toyota Camry here, so look for him to try to keep the track position as best he can here.
Yeah, the top Toyota drivers really in this field are the 3 in the top 4 at the moment. You see Max Ford, Collymore, and Quill all up there in the top 4, so it's going to be interesting watching these Toyotas trying to get it done. Maybe we'll see some green flag laps and see how it plays out on the older tires compared to some of those drivers that pit this yellow getting some new tires.
You see some of these drivers start to try to flip their track position a little bit. You see Peter Hopp in the 6th place machine there, up 14 spots. So I mean, you see Kai Collymore, up 17. Some of these guys not a good qualifying, and now you're going to see some of those guys try to flip track position. You know, they do have a little bit older tires, but you know, I feel like with how the cautions have been coming out so frequently, I don't think this is a bad call.
Tyler Merritt is going to lead us to the green flag with Kai Collymore on his outside, so it will be a Chevy versus Toyota for this start. For this restart, as the pace truck is getting ready to hook a hard left on a pit road at a turn 4, this time by, once again, Chevy Toyota front row, 29 v 23. Coming to the Geico restart zone. 29 versus 23. The 29 gets a huge jump on the inside. Once again, outside lane kind of caught sleeping a tiny bit. Not as much as the past couple restarts, though, but the 29 does end up getting a huge jump out up front. Currently, as we see the 23 kind of running lower than that 29. And Kai Collymore that inside and that 23 trying to get it done. As we see, whoa, big hit for the 11 into the outside wall. Might have some right side damage because of that.
We have cars trying to spin in the back there, but they're going to keep it clear by it. I was going to mention, you saw the 23. Oh, he's going to get up there. Almost made contact with the race leader there. The 23 going to make a block on the 20 for that race lead. But here comes the 20 making a charge for the lead here on the bottom underneath the 29 machine of Tyler Merritt.
Yeah, well, the 29 and the 23 were kind of ripping that outside lane in turns 3 and 4. We just saw the 20 sneak by very fast on the inside. Now battling for this lead, too wide for the lead. 20 versus 29 coming out of turn 2. A little bit of contact. 29 ends up going into the outside wall. 23 ends up staying high as we see a couple cars go around in the back. Looks like the 41 saves it. One car spinning into the infield. Looking to stay green at the moment. Once again, still too wide for the lead.
That was the 14 right in a row. Have to back up the track here, but you see a crossover by the 29. They're trying to go underneath the 20. He's going to get that help from that. Where did he from the 11 car back up here with that track position switch? And now you're going to see almost 3 wide for that spot here. Now looking 3 wide for P2.
3 wide for P2. Looking Kai Collymore just couldn't get there. Still 2 wide for P2 as Kai Collymore looks at that outside lane. We see a little blink from Jacob Quill as we're back really single file. Jacob Quill sends it into the inside. Well, we see the 29 running way up on the outside lane.
Quill's kind of the only person right here out of these front guys that are willing to run the bottom here. Nobody else trying to run maybe the middle towards the top here. And you see Quill getting an amazing run, at least in turn 4 down here on the bottom. You see and top kind of prevailing a little bit better in 1 and 2, but Quill gets such an amazing run down here out of 3 and 4.
As we still see the 29 up front with the 11 in the 20 side by side for second. Once again, Jacob Quill trying to get it done on the inside. Just like Christian said, really the only driver kind of running that inside. You see him do it once again in 3 and 4, sends it in deep on the inside, kind of riding that yellow line. Still side by side for second, trying to go side by side for first. Just doesn't have enough speed as we see the outside lane get a huge run on exit.
That's going to be it's going to be hard for Quill to make that pass just with how much momentum and how much run up off the corner they do on the top here. But, I mean, slowly you see him being dedicated to that bottom here. But now you see the 11 trying to go toe-to-toe with this 29 machine as they are slowly catching a lap car.
Yeah, 2 wide for the lead. Max Ford on the inside. A little bit of contact in entering turn 3 and 4. We see the 11 kind of out in front on the inside lane right now, but the 29 on the outside trying to get the exit. Once again, just like Christian said, a lap car coming up just in front of them, but Max Ford back up to the lead.
I saw Max kind of use up the 29 a little bit here and get the pass down there. I don't think that Tyler's going to be very happy with the way that was made, and he's going to definitely put that in the piggy bank to think about that maybe towards the end of the race here. You know, you're going to race me like that. I'm gonna think about that and maybe race you similarly towards the end of this race.
Max Ford currently 12th in standings, trying to get it done, possibly trying to get a win, which will help him out big time. Definitely interesting to see him back out in front here. So we see Kai Collymore in the 23 machine on the inside of the 29 as Max Ford coming up to the lap car now. Lap car doesn't really want to interfere. He looks to be staying on the inside at the moment.
You see the 4 trying to be cordial, trying to get as much as they can. I want to go back and highlight Logan Brink right here. He came down and got fresh tires, and he has actually made his way through the field here. He's sitting back there behind that left machine in that P8 spot, and he's making a move on them now. I mean, he's done a tremendous job getting back through the field with those fresh tires, and now look for him to maybe come up here and potentially take that lead back with the fresher tires.
Currently on board with that 24 machine on the front stretch now. Once again, just like Christian said, on those new tires, definitely see the speed advantage compared to all these drivers in front of him. Heading into turn 1 and 2, see him kind of going down to that inside lane, trying to get as much positions as he can. But we're 2 wide for third with Jacob Quill and Kai Collymore. Jacob Quill still running that outside lane, doesn't really have the help. As we kind of see Max Ford in the 29 pull away just a tiny bit into 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give Quill, you know, credit where it's due. I mean, he's trying to make the inside work here, but at some time, I think he's going to make the pass here. But you got to get up there and just kind of run where everybody else is, because, you know, there's a reason why everybody else is running where they are. Just because it saves tires a little bit better. It's just a little bit faster. You see the 29 almost up into the wall there, but you see Quill kind of falling line here. Maybe he's going to try to catch these top 2 guys.
Logan Brink ripping that outside lane in turn 1 and 2. You see the Chevy in front of him get a little bit of loose, cuts up in front of him. Logan Brink has a little bit of contact with the 42, slowed him down just a tiny bit after the 42 got really loose. Once again, in turn 1 and 2, it's now 2 wide for the lead between the 29 and the 11. Out of turn 4, we see the 29 cut down below the apron, trying to get the lap led. It's super close though, as the 11 has help from Jacob Quill.
Jacob Quill's going to push that 11 out front, and as we talk about him once again, Logan Brinkham in the P5 spot now in the conversation for this lead here. I mean, he needs to get around this 23 and this 20 car. I don't think it'll be that hard with how fresh these tires are, but then he'll have his eyes set back on that lead here. Jacob Quill look underneath the 29 for this P2 spot.
Yeah, 2 wide for that P2 spot. Look who's in mid. Logan Quill trying to get it done on those new tires, just like Christian said. Jacob Quill trying to get there 2 wide for the lead. But you see the 11 get a huge run on exit, ripping that outside lane. Max Ford, kind of the dominant Toyota at the moment, with Jacob Quill right behind him. You see those really 4 now, Max Ford jumping to the inside, are really kind of running the outside lane. But we see the 24 running the inside, who is on new tires, but running that inside. Against all those drivers on the outside, you don't really get a good run on exit. All those drivers on the outside just fly by you out of the corners. We see a little bit of contact in front of the 24 between the 29 and the 23.
Contact still continues, and they're still dooring.
Whoa!
And that's going to end up taking out the 24.
Driver beef right there. We see the 23 and the 29 contact, which was just completely uncalled for. Yeah, had contact in 3 and 4, but to keep doing it out of turn 4 was just shouldn't have happened. Collecting a driver like the 24 machine of Logan Brink, as Logan Brink probably not happy at all with either the 23 or the 29. Such a fast driver involved for Logan Brink. You know, these drivers getting angry this early on in the race, not even halfway. There's no point to get this angry. You know, it's halfway in the race. Sure, you guys had a little bit of contact in turn 3 and 4. You're still running in the top 5. There's no need for this contact. 29 got shoved into the outside wall, 23, and then the 29 just got mad and put back down into the 23 into the 24.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it kind of building up throughout that, you know, we would say what, backstretch the exit of turn 4. They would not get off each other, rubbing fenders and stuff. You saw the 29 just have enough and kind of push that 23 down the track, unfortunately hooking the 24. I mean, Logan, looks like the complete right front is tore off that machine here, so a lot of heavy damage for him. And yeah, wouldn't be happy if I was him. I mean, he was the guy that was that was in the best spot to take advantage of those fresh tires, and potentially, you know, if it went green, maybe take the lead and start the pull on some of these guys.
Yeah,
with the older tires.
Yeah, Logan Brink definitely the fastest on the track right there, and just got involved with other drivers, having some altercations. You're gonna see him take tires and try to repair that damage. See the 11 taking both sides. A lot of drivers coming in to take tires. Just sucks for such a good driver like Logan Brink to be involved in a wreck like that this early on. I mean, there was just no point.
Yeah, you're gonna see
I
that. Yeah, I totally agree, Gavin. I mean, we're not even halfway done yet, and when this is the second race of the season, like I feel like when you league race or if you race in general, you need to be building relationships, not you know putting yourself in position to make enemies here. But you see Logan Brink elect to take that fast repair. We all these drivers do get, I believe, at least one here for the Hyperdrive Cup series. So going to see him take that fast repair, but definitely didn't want to use it this early.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Logan Brink is our driver who's 6 in points right now, but with that incident, the 25 of Peter Hop ends up going to the lead in that Chevy machine. We're gonna see a Ford on the front row with Jackson Browner. Really, the first Ford we've seen in the top 5 really all race. He's gonna be starting in the front row now. Jackson Brown, decent race last week at Daytona, got involved in an incident or two, but we're gonna see what he can do here at Michigan. Once again, very, very interesting with that last yellow. Christian Zarate in that P3 position, that Chevy. Christian Zarate had a decent week at Daytona. He's currently 9th in points on his outside. Bobby Helms, who finished 2nd at Daytona, is on his outside in 4th. So it's definitely going to be interesting. These new drivers up front, we're going to see how they do. And some of those drivers that selected to take tires, we're going to see if they can make their way up back to the front from the back.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. You see, like, Peter Hobb, Jackson Brown. Jackson pitted towards probably that first caution, but Peter, 24-lap old tires. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how much he can stay up there. Obviously, a lot of these guys, 8th on up, have a decent amount of laps on the tires, but 9th on back, which is, I believe, Dylan Walterman in the 42, the first car on Frischies. So interested to see where that 42 car can go here with those fresh tires.
Chase Crawl also in this first spot, making his way to the top 5 in that 32 machine, starting 3rd on the inside. But once again, the pace truck getting ready to hook a hard left. It will be a Chevy versus Ford front row. Peter Hop versus Jackson Brown. As once again, there's the pace truck hooking a hard left on a pit road. And Peter Hop is going to lead us to this restart.
In the Geico restart zone. And once again, inside with a pretty good jump here. Peter going to take the lead here. Christian Zarate's going to follow suit here. And now you're going to see a battle for that P3 spot between Jackson Brown, Chase Crawl, and it's going to be 2x2 going into turn 1.
Yeah, you see Zarate in 2nd position, running lower than that 25 machine, trying to get up there. As we see multiple drivers make contact with the wall. As we see a wreck in the back, 34 involved. The yellow flag is out once again. The 34 machine is involved. And once again, the 24 machine, not good for Logan Brink, as he has some more damage after he just took his fast repair. This race for Logan Brink just went from worse to even worse. Like, you gotta feel bad for Logan Brink for making his way up to the front, getting involved in other drivers' issues, and now being involved in yet another incident. As we're going to try to get a replay of it. You see him in turn 3 and 4 right now. We see the 34 in the 7 of Zachary Trevino. 7 comes up, makes contact with the 24, and the 24 ends up going to the 34. So tough luck for the Logan Brink 24 machine, as once again more damage. It's going to have to try to repair that and pit road. But yeah, fast drivers involved. Logan Brink, Zachary Trevino, who we saw up front, even the 34 we've seen up front a little bit throughout this race. The 24 though. Sorry, go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate, but once again, just that it just looks like racing. I mean, you see the 30, you saw the 38 kind of check up a little bit. You saw the 7 trying to go on his outside. You just can't make 4 wide work very well here. I mean, there's room for it. It doesn't mean you should necessarily go out of your way to try to do 4 wide here. And you saw, as we saw, chaos and swing once again here. But you got to think about it, right? If we continue to wreck, guys are going to lose these fast repairs, and then, sooner or later, some guys are going to unfortunately have to, take some of these cars at the garage if the cautions continue to happen, and hopefully that might help with the wrecking issue here.
Yeah, we see our leader, including some other drivers, going into pit road. That gives Chase Crawl the lead in his first start here at Michigan. But just like Christian said, a bunch of drivers having to use their fast repair this early on. I mean, we're just approaching halfway in this race. Multiple incidents so far. Not something a lot of these drivers probably want or even wants it to happen to themselves, but it is definitely going to be interesting. It will be a Chevy front row, or Chevy versus Ford front row once again.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely tell that the track is hot and slick. If maybe you want to take a look at your weather here for the night's race, I mean, maybe that can help attest to maybe what's going on with the stuff. I mean, 74 degrees, partly cloudy, and a little bit of wind. I mean, I feel like that's pretty ideal, you know, driving conditions. Maybe the wind, I mean, that's quite a bit of wind for like any race, but maybe, you know, the wind, especially with the southwest, it's going to be blowing on the cars as they go in the corner. Maybe that's upsetting some of these drivers' performance with the race cars.
Yeah, but we do see Chase Crawl once again. I mentioned a few seconds ago, Chase Crawl leading this field first start in this series. So this is going to be interesting how he handles racing in the front against a bunch of these top contenders, including Jacob Quill, who was in that third position. So we're going to see how he's going to do. I guarantee he's going to try to fight for that lead position once again. Logan Brink close to going a lap now. But once again, Chevy Ford front row.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to see some new guys up here. You see Jackson Brown, you know, up 25 to Rex Rowe, who's been caught up in a couple of the wrecks. You see that right front on that number 14 high point machine kind of crinkled up there. I'm starting to see even some guys who've been caught up in stuff just out of attrition trying to make their way up to the field here. And a lot of these guys, you know, Jackson Brown and Rex Rowe, currently the guys on the oldest side, and they're only 25 laps old. Not that much wear comparatively to what you'd expect to see here with 48 complete.
Yeah, Chase Crawl, our race leader, does have a little bit of left front damage. It's not something that will slow him down much, but it's something that could definitely be an effect of his race car. Doesn't look too bad, but he does have a little bit of that front left damage. But once again, Chevy Ford front row, Chase Crawl versus Jackson Brown. As the pace truck once again is gonna get ready to take a hard left on the pit road.
Yeah, pace truck ducking in the pit road here, and now you're gonna see the 32 and the 10 lead us to the green here. We're gonna see Crawl versus Brown going into the Geico restart zone. Green once again, and what a jump by the 32.
Chase Crawl with a huge, a great start. Pretty much led that inside lane to a great start. The 10 was sleeping a little bit, but Jacob Quill passing on the inside for the lead. Passing Chase Crawl. Chase Crawl is on the outside. He's going to get a run on exit. They're side by side, so for the lead, Chase Crawl and Jacob Quill, 20 versus 32, as they're kind of pulling away from the pack just a tiny bit heading into turn 3.
Jacob Quill right now only has 6 laps on those tires, so he can make this pass with this little slider out. I think he might start to pull away from the pack here. Yeah, easy pass for that number 20 machine, and you see Chase Crawl probably start to come back to the pack. 16 of Kendori Davis, new face up here in the top 3 with Max Ford back up here in this P4 spot.
Jacob Quill already half a second lead on those new tires compared to Chase Crawl. Chase Crawl very loose out of turn 2, trying to hang on to that car, but right behind him now making the move is Kendori Davis. That's the machine.
Sketchy block by that number 16 machine, but talk about where did he come from? Up spots in that P6 spots. He only has 7 laps on his tires. He's making that move underneath the 32 of Chase Crawl for that P4 spot.
Xander McKinney, we saw him have a hard hit earlier on, had to use his fast repair very early on in this race, but he's trying to make his way back to the front. He got 4th at Daytona, 4th in points right now. He's ripping that inside lane. Great job, Xander McKinney. looks to be clearing the 10. Oh, he gets really loose. What a save by the Xander McKinney 66 machine, but he will lose a lot of time. And just like we were talking about in the pre-race, I was mentioning that drivers, we are gonna see them get very loose here at this track, and Xander McKinney one of them, as we're just past halfway now.
And you saw Xander, you got loose there, and it looked like to me he had to shallow out his exit there to hopefully. I don't know if he knew he was clear, but I don't think he thought he was clear there, and just tried to keep it on the bottom there. And unfortunately, when you're getting the gas with the wheel, locked to the left there, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get loose there and spin it out there. But now he's back here in the Hornet's Nest once again here, back here in this P11 position.
Jacob Quill, who had half a second lead, now under attack from Max Ford in the 11 Toyota machine. Right behind him, Kender and Davis. And here comes Kai Collingmore, who had that interaction with the 29 machine earlier. Jacob Quill kind of puts a slider on Max Ford. Pulls kind of a late block, but Jacob Quill will lead at lap 52.
Try to duck him back in line here. We know the 11 is going to rip the top, and we know the 20 is going to run the bottom here. I think it's going to be a battle who can get clear of who here. I think Quill will not get clear, and it's going to be side by side out of two.
Yeah, really close. Jacob Quill looked to be going high, and he just saw Max Ford get a huge run out of turn 2. So Max Ford nose out in front, entering turn 3 and 4. Jacob Quill's trying to send it in as deep as possible to try to get in front of that 11, but it's not looking like it's going to work as the 11 still on his outside. Looks to get a huge run out of turn 4 as they're side by side once again for the lead.
You're going to see the 23 push the 11 out to the front there with the 29. Going to help, that 23 who had contact with earlier in the race here. And now you're going to see that outside train, I want to call it, start to prevail here. And you see the 29 get around the 20, and the 20 is going to dip back in line there in that P4 spot.
Look at this. Top 3 is the 29 and the 23 and the 11, but the 29 and the 23 had an interaction early on that caused the yellow and collected the 24, and now look at them getting real close to each other. We're going to see if that could play another factor in this race. I think they should have calmed down by now, but it is going to be interesting to see as we now see Kai Collingmore looking to the inside, now to the outside, blocks the 29, entering turn 1 and 2.
Everybody's starting to single file out right here. Right now, it's close to battle just for that P10 spot. Logan Brinken, Gregory Robinson going at it for the top 10 spot right there. But right now, everybody's starting to get single filed out, trying to get into a rhythm here. I think finally maybe that caution bug has been lifted off the track here. You see the 3 slowing on the apron here.
We still see the 11 out in front, 23 right behind us, in with the 29. The 23 kind of pulls a big block on the 11, but you see now the 3 car has some issues bringing it on to pit road. Not sure the 3 car on the pit road. I'm not exactly sure if he has some damage or possibly got penalized, but we do have a battle for the lead with the 11 and the 23. We're gonna get to it in just a second. So we see the 29 looking to the inside of the 23, entering turn 3 and 4.
Now, I feel like this is where the tire city the tire advantage is going to start to come back in. I mean, you see Xander McKinney already working his way back up to the field here once again with those fresh tires. You see the 6 of Bobby Helms back up here in the P5 spot. He also has 10 laps on those tires. I mean, some of the freshest tires in the field here trying to work their way through.
Bobby Helms currently second in our points right now. Finished second last week, trying to get it done here at Michigan. Getting second at a track just like Daytona last week, it hurts to be so close to winning at a big track like that. But second place isn't bad as you see him ripping the inside lane, trying to get up to the front. Side by side for third with that 29.
You have to remember back at Daytona, he was leading at the white flag lap and just kind of gave it away. Tried to make what he called was a stupid block on that 7 of Zachary of Trevino, and kind of gave the race away there. So definitely hurts, but in the same aspect, right? You're talking about these super speedway tracks. I honestly would take it as a win because sometimes you just have to go in there with the aspect of just trying to survive with how chaotic like Daytona and Talladega and Atlanta can be sometimes. But I mean, coming out there with the P2, obviously you're going to be second in points, and it's a great start to the season for now.
Our leader Max Ford sliding big time in turn 3 and 4. Trying to keep the car in control, but it is hard on those tires right now at the moment. It's still under attack from that 23 machine of Kai Collymore.
Jacob Quill trying to attack the 23 right now, but still electing to run the bottom where everybody's trying to stay up top here. And yeah, I mean, still electing to run the bottom. Trying to do something different here. I mean, he's definitely a lot better in third and fourth than the guys who are running the top, but it just loses a lot of time. I feel like in 1-2, side by side for the leader. You see the 11 of the wall.
Max Ford contact with the wall gives Jacob Quill the chance to get the run on the inside as they're going to be side by side entering turn 1 and 2. Once again, Kai Collymore on that inside looked to make it 3, but thought better of it. You see the 20 send it in deep in the corner, trying to get clear of that 11. Seems to be working as he's now out in front here at Michigan.
You saw a huge wobble out of the 11 there. That's really a product of what they're doing here. The top will burn off the right rear a lot more than the bottom will do. So you see the 11 starting to show. Maybe you use that right rear up a little bit too much there, starting to wiggle out of the corners here. Versus Quill, who's been running the bottom. Now he's at the right front a little bit more, and it's going to tighten that car up as the run goes on. So definitely going to see some cars change and adapt to where the drivers are going to put that car at, and even just adapt to where the track is at now. But huge run out of the exit of 1 and 2 by 11. He's going to try to make another move for this lead.
Yeah, as we still see the 20 out in front. Max Ford trying to get back up to the front with Kai Collymore behind him. The 29 back there too. Bobby Helms is there. It's definitely interesting to watch the drivers and see what they're doing here. On lap 61 of 100. Still out in front though, 20, Jacob Quill. Great exit out of turn 3 and 4.
All right, now these guys dealing with a lap car. That's Finnegan Myers, 3 laps down. And now you see the 6 kind of trapped behind that 12 car. Going to try to find a way to negotiate around that lap car right there, but definitely not where that 6 car wanted that 12 to be.
Yeah, Bobby Helms extremely loose out of turn 2, losing some time. See the lap car right in front of him, that Ford Mustang 12 machine. Bobby Helms trying to pass on the inside. It is hard when that lap car is on newer tires, but Bobby Helms now side by side with that lap car. Still out up front is Jacob Quill in that 20 machine.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with that number 6. So it was a little upset, right? That I think that 12 car, I think, like I said, it's just 3 laps down. So definitely a little bit far away from, even being considered the lucky dog here. We have the 41 of David Carmen, who's going to be a lucky dog contender, and that number 41 Haas machine back there 2 laps down. So, I mean, definitely the thing, probably a little frustrated, like, dude, you're not even on the lead lap. Can you just let me go? And finally, he does make that pass on the 12 machine.
Yeah, it is interesting. Bunch of big movers at the moment. We're seeing a lot of moves. Top 3 pulling away from Kai Collymore a little bit, but Kai Collymore coming with a big run with Bobby Helms. The 20, we've seen Jacob Quill running lower than really everyone else. Than the 11, who's kind of running a lane higher than him. A little bit of a block there out of turn 2. But Jacob Quill really in control of this race at the moment. Kind of controlling everyone behind him, not really letting anyone by. We see the 11 ripping that outside wall, ripping the top lane. Max Ford is going to get a huge run out of turn 4. Looks to the inside of the 29, now side by side for 2nd and 3rd with Kai Collymore back there on the inside of Bobby Helms for 3rd. Or for 4th.
I want to take a look back at the P7 position. Peter Hoff just quietly running back here in P7, keeping that car clean. Doing a really good job right now. Remember, he was one of the guys that stayed out. Now, back here running in 6th place, he's going to be catching that lap car that we were talking about before, Finnegan. And I was going to take a look at Peter on him, but having a very, very good quiet runner right here in the 7th position. You can see, get a little bit tied up with the lap car, and you see Xander McKinney going to try to make the move to get around him here.
Xander McKinney in that Ford 66 machine we see on the apron right there. He's on the lead lap. We saw him get loose earlier and lost a lot of time, but trying to get that time back as much as he can. Now in turn 1 and 2, he also has to worry about that lap car.
Yeah, Finnegan, I mean, doing what he needs to, I guess, to put himself in the best spot, but Also, not doing the best thing that probably lead lap was last year. I mean, really doing a really good job of, impeding these guys' lines and making it difficult to pass. And because of that, you're going to see Kendall and Davis start to reel these guys back in as well in that 16 machine.
Very, very interesting to see that Monster Energy 16 machine that Christian is talking about. Trying to make his way back up to the field. You see him kind of running higher than really the cars in front of him, which is Ender McKinney in that 25 machine. Trying to get it done, but it is difficult at a track like this. We are on lap 67 of 100, still out front is Jacob Quill. You see the 29 kind of ripping the outside lane there, side by side for that third position with Bobby Helms and Max Ford. So it is Toyota leading this field right now, but the 29 trying to really get as much lead as he can on the exit.
Yeah, we have green flag pit stop starting to go underway here for some of these drivers. Like Kendorian Davis, for instance, is going to have to come down in the next couple laps here. 39 laps on this stint here, so you can only go about 40 here. So some of these drivers electing to have to come down pit road here, top off on some Sunoco fuel, probably get some fresh Goodyear tires.
Jackson Brown is exiting pit road, who we saw running up front, Miles Davis in the 2 machine. Lots of drivers exiting pit road now. Kendrick Davis, who Christian was just talking about, makes his way into pit road, but the 29 currently attacking the 20 machine for the lead. Jacob Quill, that's 29 of Tyler Merritt's kind of running a higher lane. We've seen Jacob Quill, like we mentioned multiple times this race, running lower than a lot of the other drivers.
Yeah, Jacob has really been the guy that kind of only run on the bottom, and really the very bottom where he really paints the yellow. You see some guys that are kind of on that second seam, like we saw a lot in the quali laps. So you see Quill really painting the yellow line on both ends of the speedway here, and doing a good job at keeping the pace where he needs to be, keeping the tires underneath him. We saw the 11 at Max Ford really use up his stuff a little bit earlier. You see him now, it looks like just trying to lay back a little bit, trying to get that car back from underneath him, as we see a huge wiggle by him again. Just trying to keep the track position, I feel like, right now.
Yeah, last lap in turn 3 and 4, the 29 was behind the 20, just like we're seeing right now, and the 29 got extremely loose, but kept the hold of that race car. As we see him now going into pit road. Our second place driver trying to slow it down. Almost locks it up, but he is now in pit road, getting ready to take some tires and fuel. Jacob Quill still stays out. Max Ford to that second position, and Bobby Helms is in that third position.
Yeah, and Max is starting to get ran down by the 6 machine here. You see another wiggle out of that 11 machine, and the 6 is going to be right there, going into turn 3 and 4 to maybe take advantage of this 11 for this P2 spot.
Definitely interesting, side by side for second right now with the Bobby Helms machine on the inside, trying to clear that 11. Gets it done. He will take that second position. Bobby Helms passes Max Ford successfully, but that also kind of gave the chance for Jacob Quill to pull away just a tiny bit.
Yeah, Quill's definitely starting to pull here, but I also feel like that could be to Ford. Pace starting to slow up here comparatively to Quill. You see Quill trying to negotiate around the 29 here on fresh tires. 29 just came out of the pits here, and he's going to try to stay on the lead lap here. But Quill, I think, maybe want to take advantage of that and try to get around him here, but you're going to see that 29 easily start to pull a gap on the race leader here.
29 of Tyler Merritt, who was running second when he went into pit road just a couple laps ago, but he did succeed staying on the lead lap in front of Jacob Quill. Jacob Quill still leading this race. I think time will come where we're going to see Jacob Quill and Max Ford and even Bobby Helms enter pit road pretty soon to try to take some fuel to make to the end, because no one in this field has the fuel to make it to the end at the moment. And we're on a pretty decently long green flag run at the moment.
Yeah, right now the farthest I think Quill and Max and Ty Collymore can stretch is about 10 more laps, and they're gonna have to come down pit road. But Bobby Helms, you know, it's about 4 laps more fuel than other guys around him, as well as Xander McKinney. Uh, no, as well as Christian Durati. My apologies. So they can stay out a couple more laps later than some of these race leaders, but about 10 more laps, and then almost everybody who hasn't pit gonna have to come down and pit for some more fuel heal. But Tyler Merritt right now, the first car of the guys that are pitted here, back there in that P11 position.
Last week's winner, Zachary Trevino, you see him in that bright blue car on the outside of that 12 machine lap car. Right behind him, Logan Brink in the 24. We saw leading laps very, very early on. Got involved in that incident, actually a couple incidents, but Zachary Trevino, last week's winner at Daytona, ripping that outside lane, trying to get some good runs on exit. As we see him kind of succeeding a little bit with Logan Brink behind him. Logan Brink trying to make his way up through the field. After the incidents he was involved, Max Ford coming over the radio. He's going to pit pretty soon. Trying to make sure everything's going. He's currently having a conversation with Bobby Helms. But Jacob Quill pulling away quite a bit. Has a 2.5 lead right now. So great job, Jacob Quill. Dominant driver at the moment, at this time. Jacob Quill signaling that he is pitting. Bobby Helms says he's pitting in. Max Ford says he's pitting in. So that is our top 3. Pitting this time by. You're going to see Jacob Quill start to slow it down right here. Entering pit road. See drop down.
So with 25 laps to go, you're going to see a top 3 going down pit road here. It looks like
Bobby Helms might have missed pit road. He said he was going down and zoomed right by it.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby can afford to run a couple more laps here. So, I mean, I don't think that's the worst thing for him. But now it's going to be Bobby, Zerati, and Zach Trevino, your top 3 here. But Trevino can't go that much longer as well. 34 laps on his stint, as well as Bobby, Zerati, Logan Brink, and Peter Hopp all equally have 30 laps. So can afford to go a couple more laps without having to worry about pits.
Jacob Quill, great pit stop. Kind of gapping that Max Ford machine off of pit road. We see the 24 now entering pit road. But once again, that is Jacob Quill. Great pit stop. Now coming out of turn 2, going up the track. As I believe he's going to file back to the 7th or 8th position. I'm not sure, but it is definitely interesting. Bobby Helms does have a 3.5 second lead after staying out. Zachary Trevino, though, our 3rd place driver, who's currently in turn 3 and 4, he said he's pitting in. You see Peter Hopp behind him. Bobby Helms down pit road. So a lot of drivers entering pit road now. You see the 25 sends it in pretty deep behind the 7 machine of Zachary Trevino. But that's pretty much almost everyone in this field has pit. So we do see a little pack here. You see the 24 on the apron, trying to exit pit road. You see Xander McKinney right there in the 66. Getting some pushes by the driver behind him in that Chevy. So very, very interesting. That's Christian Zerati, our leader. Very, very interesting seeing some of these drivers' strategies play out.
I mean, Zerati's staying out a little bit later here. I mean, I feel like you got to pit within the next couple laps. With 20 to go, I mean, you're going to have, you know, good 10-lap pressure tires with some of these guys. But right now, I feel like your welcoming is overdue a little bit. You know, if you stay out a little bit later now, I don't think you have enough time to get back up to the field here if you really want to try to do that long game here. So, you know, you might see Zerati come down here a little bit, maybe doing a little bit tire strategies. Here he comes down pit road here.
Yeah, Christian Zerati now entering pit road. He's gonna lose quite a lot of time compared to a lot of the drivers that have been on those new tires the last 5 laps, 5-10 laps. So he is gonna trail back quite a bit, but like Christian said, he is gonna be on those newer tires, so he'll try to gain some of that back. But here's Jacob Quill, who we saw pit, was the leader when he pit. Now up in that third position, in that 20 machine, so positions are not gonna cycle out.
And Tyler Merritt will take over the lead after Girardi comes down pit road. Now he has almost a 2.5-second lead on your leader of Quill here. I mean, on your second place of Quill. But Quill does have 5-lap fresher tires. I mean, I'm interested to see if 5 laps is going to be enough to maybe make up that almost 4-second gap here. We know Quill's faster, but I think maybe Merritt might have just enough life in those tires to maybe keep him behind here. But with 20 to go here, still a lot can happen.
It is going to be interesting. We might even see Max Ford in the 11 machine be able to maybe pick something up, maybe get a chance. He's in that third position. We're watching Xander McKinney in that 66, now on board with the 11 machine of Max Ford. See some drivers in front of him. That includes Jacob Quill. Trying to get it done, going really that second line in turn 1 and 2. So he's flying right now, trying to get it done. Jacob Quill, though, has about 3 seconds on him, 4 seconds, trying to catch Tyler Merritt, who also has 3 to 4 seconds in front of him. But it is going to be interesting to see if Jacob Quill could catch up, and maybe even Max Ford, who are both on newer tires.
Right now, Jacob around a 10th to 2/10 quicker lap here. So right now, not quite on pace to catch him, but obviously Tyler's will wear a lot quicker and a lot more than Jacob's will with them being older. So still not out of it yet. You know, Tyler can easily make a mistake here. But, you know, still catching him slowly, but we'll see if it's enough time to get to him.
Yeah, Jacob is setting faster laps than that 29 machine of Tyler Merritt. So it is going to be interesting. Last lap for Tyler Merritt was a 39.355. Well, for Jacob Quill, it was a 39.213. So a 10th of a difference. Jacob Quill is pulling in Tyler Merritt fairly fast, but the real question is, will it be enough? Will there be enough time before this race ends?
Yeah, coming to 16 to go here. I mean, laps are counting down pretty quickly here. Jacob's going to have to be on his A game if he wants to have a chance here. No mistakes can be made here by this 20 car. But right now, looks like Kai Collingmore is getting around for the 4th place position around Kendorian Davis. Kai with about twice as fresh tires here, making his way up through the field.
And Max Ford trying to get it done too in that 3rd position. Very interesting watching strategy really play out right now for really different experience and drivers. As we see now, Xander McKinney, that 66 machine. This is kind of really the only pack we have on track right now, with the 6 machine and the 24 machine right behind him. So very, very interesting kind of watching what's going on track right now. We're now on board with Logan Brink, the 24 machine, who's behind Xander McKinney, has a huge run trying to make that move on the 66 Ford machine. As he's now going to try to make the move on Bobby Helms, or I believe that is the 5th or 6th position.
Bobby back here in 6th place right here, and I feel like if they would, you know, not fight each other, they're not that far away from Kendorian Davis.
24 on the wall.
They're not that far away from Kendorian or Kai. To be honest, if they would work with each other, I feel like they could maybe catch these guys up and maybe bring the battle to the 23 and the 16. But right now, little 4 car. Going to be 5 car if they continue to catch the 16 as quick as they are. A little 5 car pack here.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So far, still out in front, Tyler Merritt in the 29 machine. 2nd place, Jacob Quill in the 20 machine. 3rd place in the 11 machine is Max Ford. 29, currently watching him now into turn 3 for us. We have a yellow flag. That changes up this race completely, as that is going to stack up the field once again, and all the strategy just went away as the 2 slow, very slow, now you can do a complete stop, and I believe that is turn 1 and 2. Not exactly sure what happened as he gets it refired and rolling, but very, very slowly. All the cars who are zooming by have to watch out. You saw Jacob Quill go by him. There's Max Ford. Finally pulls it down on the apron, but man, I have no idea really what happened. So we're gonna try to get take a look at it if we can. It was so far back that it could be kind of hard to see, or even if we got a view of it. Um, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think.
by the looks of it, it looks like him and the 10 machine of Jackson Brown going at it, and it looks like he just got up into the 10 car and just hard racing there with looks like 14 to go here. Spins the 10 around, and unfortunately the 10 trying to save it comes back down the track. The 2 will hit the inside pit wall and then kind of jolt back up the track here. Really nothing he can do. And then here comes a whole slew of drivers up here trying to get around them. And he's gonna hit that outside wall pretty hard here. Rear end first here into the outside wall, and completely KO the back end of that machine. So just looks like once again 2 people trying to go for the same space here. Going to the 1 and 2 here with a few laps to go here at Michigan, and that's going to change the whole complexity of this race.
Yeah, Tyler Merritt, who was our late race leader, went down into pit road and really brought everyone with him. So a lot of drivers deciding to take or both sides, 4 tires, and some drivers deciding to take 2 tires. So it's very interesting. Tyler Merritt lost a few positions on pit road. Kai Collymore looks to have taken 2. Xander McKinney taken or possibly took 2. So we're going to see how this kind of plays out. We got some people staying out to get their lap back. But Max Ford will be our leader off of pit road at this time.
And the lone man to stay out is Dylan Walterman in that 42 machine. 13 laps on those tires, and he decides he wants the track position over these fresh Goodyear tires.
I don't know, those 7-lap tires, you know, they are fresh. It's not like they're like 20 laps old, but compared to those new tires, I think there's definitely going to be a difference. And I think possibly for the first lap or 2, he'll be able to hang on, but I think we'll start to see him kind of fall off pretty soon. That is, once again, that 42 machine of Dylan Waterman. So staying out isn't really what I would do, but for the track, or for the position, to get the positions back for Dylan Waterman, I guess it's something he just decided to do. But it is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So he will be leading this field to this next restart with Max Ford on his outside, who is our first driver on new tires, and Xander McKinney right behind him in that 3rd position. Really the furthest we've seen Xander McKinney in that 66 machine all race.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that Dylan decided that out. And you talked about maybe a lap or 2. I don't even think it'll take a lap or 2 for these guys to take advantage of them. I mean, 13 laps at a 2-mile racetrack. This isn't like a 1.5 miles. This isn't a short track. This isn't Darlington or whatever. 13 laps is a long time now. 14 laps is a long time here at Michigan, and it's a long ways at Michigan here. So I could see, you know, within this lap, within the restart lap, within lap 2, this 42 might be getting taken advantage of. But we'll never know right now. I mean, maybe this number 42 has been saving his tires a little bit and has something in the back of his mind that he wants to do here.
And what Max Ford needs to keep in mind is, since Dylan Waterman is on those older tires and is starting on the front row in first, he is in control of this restart. And because he's on those older tires, he does have the possibility to spin those tires, which could slow him down. And Max Ford could get a jumping penalty. So he's got to kind of be aware of that. We have seen the inside lane be more dominant on the restarts, but not really with someone on older tires. So Dylan Waterman now taking us to the Geico restart zone. He's going to lead us to this green flag once again. Chevy versus Toyota. We're back green here at Michigan with 10 laps to go. It will be a 10-lap shootout. We'll see what Max Ford can do, and if Dylan Waterman can hang on. Maybe he's 1 and 2.
Yeah, decent jump by the 42. He's going to clear the 11, but now the 11 right on the right rear quarter panel. And you know the 11 likes the outside here. He's going to get a run on the outside here. Side by side for the lead.
Yeah, the 11 out in front, but here comes the 20 machine of Jacob Quill, who has really been our top contender really this race. Same with Max Ford, so it is Toyota now. Those front 2 positions in 3 and 4. Max Ford running that second lane. Same with Jacob Quill right behind him. Max Ford though, with a great exit off the turn 3 and 4. We see a couple drivers way back there in the wall, but they're keeping it straight at the moment. But Max Ford will lead that lap. 9 laps to go now here at Michigan.
That was Zach Trevino back there getting in the wall there. Lost 4 or 5 spots there now, back there in that P11 spot. But you see a car loose right there. I couldn't tell who that was, but they're going to save it.
Oh, 29. 29 had a hard hit into the outside wall. Like Michigan said, got sideways and saved it. But Max Ford still leading this race in that Toyota machine with the 20 right behind him for Jacob Quill. Jacob Quill trying to push the car to its limits to try to make this move on Max Ford. But here at a track like this, at a big track like this, you don't want to make the move too early and give that, for example, the 11 machine of Max Ford the shot to make the move back later on in this race. So 8 laps to go. Jacob Quill still behind Max Ford, who is leading this race.
Now you're going to have to see, you're going to start to see the blocking and stuff from the 11. You have to. You know the 20 is going to run the bottom here.
Oh, we have a wreck way towards the back. One driver spun to the infield, looks to save it and keep it going straight. I'm sorry for interrupting. Wasn't sure if that was going to be a yellow. But looks to be staying green at the moment. Max Ford still out of front.
And like I said, you're going to see some air blocking. I mean, you know that the 20 is going to run the bottom. He's running the bottom all race here, and you're going to see the 11 start to block that preferred lane that the 20 is going to do. So you're going to have to see the 20 try to predict where the 11 might want to block here and maybe try to go somewhere else here. With 8 to go, you're not going to worry about saving tires here. You just have to worry about putting that car where you can to take advantage of this 11 machine. You see 11 really running the bottom for the first time, maybe not used to how the car is going to drive here. Maybe you can take advantage if you are that 20 car. But now you see Kendorian Davis starting to get pressured by this 29 for the P3 spot.
Yeah, battle for P3. Kendorian Davis and the 29 were side by side in turn 3 and 4, but Kendorian Davis got the run on exit, cleared the 29 machine. So now he's going to try to get up there from that 3rd position. So it will be those front 2 positions, Toyota, but back there 3rd will be the Chevy machine of Kendorian Davis, who has a pretty decent run on the 20 machine, but is he going to make the move, or if he gets the shot to make the move, will he make it?
That 16 is bringing that 29 with him for this battle for the win here, but you see the 29, 16 side by side again. You see the 29 bottom, 16 top here. That's going to drag them both back. But Quill still trying to chase down this 11 car. You see the 24 of Logan Brink. What a recovery for him, trying to make his way back up here.
The 29 a couple laps ago ended up getting into that outside wall out of turn 2, but that doesn't seem to be interfering with him that much. But look who's in 5th. The 25 machine now making the pass for 4th on the 29 machine. Logan Brink up to 4th. A little bit of contact with the 29 entering turn 3 and 4. They're side by side for that 4th position, 5th position, whatever you want to call it. But that is also giving the chance for the 16 machine of Kendorian Davis to pull away just a little bit, trying to get up to those front 2 cars, which would be Jacob Quill and Max Ford.
And you see that 24 not being too nice to that 29 machine. Remember, that 29 is the reason why the 24 had to use that fast clear. So you see the 24 not really not really racing as respectful as you want to.
Car goes around in the back.
That's the 25 of Peter off.
Looks to keep it.
Save it. What a save by him.
What a save by Peter. Back to the front, though. You see Max Ford still under pressure from that 20 machine, has a little bit of a lead. Kendorian Davis is up there, though, right behind the 20. So the 20 is under attack now. But Logan Brink, the Chevy machine in 4th, trying to get it done. Who's pretty fast right now. But it is 3 laps to go. Right now, coming onto the backstretch.
Ooh, huge wiggle by the 16 there. That's going to allow the 24 to run here. It might clear the 16 here. Now, if I'm the 24,
wow,
you have to work with the 20 to get him to the leader to give you a chance to win here. You cannot battle each other right now for 3rd, for 4th, for 2nd. You need to get up there and help, you know, your other guy out who's trying to race for this win here to give you a shot to win here. 2 to go here. Michigan, and now Jacob has a run on this 11.
Wow, Jacob Quill, huge run on the 11 machine of Max Ford 2 laps ago, but Logan Brink in that 24 machine just kind of watching, looking, waiting to get that run. As we see, whoa, big slide from that 11 machine, slows him down a little bit. Jacob Quill catching little by little, coming to 3-4 for almost the last time.
You're going to see the 20 a little bit lower than the 11 here. You're going to see the 24 run a little bit higher. You might get a little bit of a run here.
Bobby.
It's going to be a three-car race here. Max Ford, Jacob Quill, Logan Brink. 1 lap to go here at Michigan.
The 20 looking to the outside. The 24 goes with him. Jacob Quill and Max Ford are side by side for this lead in 3-4. Logan Brink in that 3rd position, kind of watching what's going on right now, waiting to make the move.
Yeah, the 20 didn't really do the best job on the top here. Now Logan, now the twins gonna have to do something special here. Might have to drive it down here in the corner. Is he gonna move the 11 to try to get this win here?
The 11 a little bit sideways. The 20 on his inside, side by side for the lead. Jacob Quill versus Max Ford. They're side by side coming to the finish. Little bit of contact, big contact. Wow, photo finish. Looks like Jacob Quill got Max Ford barely at the line. Jacob Quill gets the win by 0.005 against Max Ford. What a finish here at Michigan. Great win for Jacob Quill. Man, Christian, what do you think about that finish right there?
Definitely an exciting finish right there. Jacob did what he needed to. Kind of used him up a little bit, but I mean, Michigan, with how wide this track is, you can afford to kind of squeeze that guy up there. And as we said it, 5/1000ths of a second that finish was. So what a finish by that number 20 machine, and what a win for Quill there.
See Max Ford giving a bump to that 20 machine, congratulating him. Kai Collymore kind of driving by as well. Kai Collymore kind of gives a little bit of a brake check to that 20 machine. But man, great win for Toyota here at Michigan. Jacob Quill just barely Toyota front 2. Logan Brink in that 3rd position was so close, just didn't have the time. Maybe if there was a lap or 2 left, I think Logan Brink could have had the shot to get it done. But Jacob Quill now burning it down here at Michigan. That's how you get it done here, folks. Man, that's how you do it.
We watch this 20 car burn it down here at the start-finish line. You got to give props to Quill. You know, not the best qualifying effort. And this really worked his way through the field once he got to the front. Really made himself as a dominant force to be reckoned with here for the rest of the race here. But you're going to see him continue to burn it down here. And we'll just sit back and watch this celebration go underway.
Yeah, definitely celebrating as much as he can. Burning those tires to the ground. Decides to just park it on the start-finish line. In winning style, Jacob Quill. Man, that's how you do it. That's great for, once again, Toyota. We saw Zachary Trevino, last week's winner at Daytona in the Chevy. It was kind of a Chevy race last week, but now Toyota coming right back, getting the win here at Michigan. Even the front 2 positions here at Michigan. So, man, what a race for Toyota, as we are going to bring up our race results here at Michigan. Jacob Quill, once again, our race winner in that Toyota machine. Right behind him, just barely lost it. Max Ford in that 11. What a close finish. Logan Brink 3rd in that 24 machine. Bobby Helms 4th. Great comeback for Bobby. Rounding out the top 5, Kendorian Davis in that 16 Chevy machine. So close for him. In 6th place, Christian Zarate. 7th, Kai Collymore. 8th, Zachary Trevino. 9th, Tyler Merritt. And rounding out the top 10, Rex Rowe. Great comeback for him in that Ford machine. We saw him involved in some incidents earlier on. In 11th, Jackson Brown. 12th, Peter Hopp. 13th, Jason Bottoms. 14th, Nicholas Road. And rounding out your top 15 is Xander McKinney in that 66 machine.
Yeah, in 16th, you have Dylan Walterman in that number 42 machine. In the P17 spot, Riley Abanez. And in 18th is going to be Brogan Whitworth, and he's going to round out you guys that are on the lead lap. The first car 1 lap down is that number 95 of Brendan Larson in the P19 spot. P20, Finnegan Myers, we saw him throughout the field. He was trying to get his laps back. 2 laps down here. David Farnan in that number 41, 21st. Michael Wingo, we saw, him have a couple of issues towards the start of the race. He's going to finish 22nd, that number 01 Camaro. And 23rd is going to be Miles Davis. 24th, Chase Crawl.
I'm not exactly
25th.
sure what. Sorry for interrupting. I'm not exactly sure what happened to Chase Crawl because we saw him running up front, and I don't know how he managed to get 18 laps down.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting talking point. I mean, he was up there leading the race, and I don't know if it was an internet related issue, if he got caught up in a wreck or what, but unfortunately, 18 laps down for that number 32 machine. But in 25th, Keon Milani, and 26th, Gregory Robinson, we saw him up towards the front. Unfortunately, got caught up in a wreck. Thomas Grandel, remember filling in for Zachariah Cartledge. Unfortunately, not to finish that. He probably wanted to see out of that number 92. Joshua Gilbert in the 28th position. Nicholas Johnson, 29th. And uh, Aiden in that number 18 machine did not start the race, unfortunately. So it was not, I don't know, technical difficulties, but fortunately, he's going to run out in 30th with a D in Q. So while we get ready for that, we're going to go ahead and try to drag in your
Third place
third place
finisher.
finisher, yeah, of Logan Brink here.
Give
See if
us
we can
one.
get one moment as we're waiting
Trying to
on the
do it.
on the drivers meeting to get underway here, and then we'll get your third place driver.
Give us one moment. They're just having one more talk with those top three finishers, making sure everything is official. But man, what a race here at Michigan. Um, Once again, Jacob Quill. That's how you win here at Michigan.
Yeah, you have to think about like what Jacob had to do here to get that win here. You saw Jacob up 15 spots to start P16 there, and really had to work his way up there. You have to look back at some of these drivers who made their way up to the field here. You see, Kai, was up there competitive, up 12 spots, finishing in that P7 spot. But um, you have to look back here as we have Logan Brink here. Hey, Logan, it's Christian and Gavin in the booth in the AFTV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, I mean, a P3 finish. Uh, con considering what your day was, can't complain about that, unfortunately getting caught up in a couple of wrecks there, ending up forcing yourself to use a fast repair, probably a little bit earlier than you expected to, but walk us through your race and walk us through those last couple laps.
Well, at the start, I was feeling pretty good, led some laps, and then obviously that incident, I got turned into the wall on the front straightaway, so I used my fast repair. Then I think it was like the next run after that, I got another wreck on the backstretch and had to deal with that damage the entire race. I'm down on RPM right now. I'm idling on the front stretch, so I don't know how I got to third place, but just it just felt so good in the corners. And I just fought my way to the front on the last restart. I think I passed like 15 people, and I couldn't take the lead because my straight line speed was not good. I had to have somebody in front of me, so thought I'd just let the guys in front race it out, and it was an awesome finish. It was awesome. That whole final 5 laps was amazing.
You were definitely the one to beat earlier on, Logan. You carried so much speed throughout this race, and like Christian said, just involved in some unfortunate incidents. You were catching up at the end. We saw you pass a couple drivers, making your way up to the third position. I give it if there's a couple laps left, maybe another two extra laps. I think you could have been the one here in victory lane.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say because I kind of relied on draft at the end there. So like the second I stick my nose out, I'm gonna fall to the back like a parachute because I'm down on RPM and I'm damaged. So maybe if I time it right, I can make a move off turn 4. But I just don't think I could have been able to pass the leader efficiently. But who knows?
Well, so
Well,
close. Podium finish for you. Before we let you go, is there any friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to shout out?
Just I'll shout out my team owner Josh. Let me here another season, and I guess everybody for keeping it clean on that last run. That was pretty fun. But yeah, thanks you guys as well for streaming, and that's about it.
well, we definitely appreciate the kind words, but yeah, really a great comeback finish for you, but we're gonna drag you up to celebrate this podium with your friends and family, whoever you want to, and hopefully we can talk to you in victory next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
That was looking pretty because we're gonna try to get your P2 finisher Max Ford back into the booth here.
So we are now going to get, once again, Max Ford, who is now in here. Max Ford, so close to winning the race here at Michigan. Barely lost. It's so close. Definitely hurts to be that close to a win. You want to walk us through how your race kind of went there?
I felt like I had better short run pace than Jacob Quill, and I still had decent long run pace. So I knew that final caution I was going to take 2 tires because the left sides never really wore out, and I could just push and be fine. But off that turn 3 there, I got in, I got loose, and then you saw what the rest happened. Basically
Yes.
sold the finish.
Well, yeah, it's definitely almost kind of a disadvantage here at Michigan with how draft dependent it is here. I mean, and Jacob really Jacob was kind of in the driver's seat going into for there, even regardless of you getting loose. I mean, he really had a good run to get there and, use your draft to get back up to you. That's really the only reason I felt like he was, in the picture was just due to how drafty this track was. But at the end there, you did everything you could, I felt like, but fortunately with how Michigan is, I mean, Jacob got up there and unfortunately, battling the line, everybody's going to do what they got to do there. But fortunately, bittersweet here. I mean, we felt like you were a top 3 driver here, but looking back, did you expect, a long green flag run towards the end there, or were you expecting just continually to pace here?
I felt like once we got someone in the booth there, which we did, it was gonna be a lot more clean. And once he did, it actually did get cleaner. And I noticed at the start, once we got like 3 laps going, we could start getting it going and getting green. Because the more you spread out, the less chance you have at wrecking. So yeah, I wasn't really playing for any cautions when I pit before that green flag run, but yeah.
Yeah, we
Well,
saw the really bad wreck there at the end there, but kind of set everything up to where it was now. But still can't complain about that P2 finish. But before we let you go, anybody want to thank any sponsors, friends, family, or anybody watching at home?
Oh, whenever someone asks me this, I always have to thank Ford, the manufacturer Ford, for letting me drive a Toyota, and their extendus and tremendous amount of gratitude for letting me drive a Toyota, even though I'm in the Ford family.
well,
Yeah,
that's
that,
amazing, Max.
it's definitely ironic. I mean, a Ford name driving a Toyota machine, but like I said, bittersweet. Almost so close, 5,000th of a second. But yeah, I guess we are going to let you celebrate whatever you want to do with your friends and family, and hopefully we can talk to you back up here in Victory Lane next week.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
That was Max Ford, our second place finisher here at Michigan. So close. Hoping to see him in Victory Lane sometime soon this season because he's a great driver. But now we are going to get in our race winner who barely got it in front of Max Ford, Jacob Quill. We're going to try to get him in the booth. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. We are trying to get him in here for his race winning interview. But man, what a finish. So close for Max Ford in that 11 machine. Definitely was a top contender that entire race. But Jacob Quill, a race winner, now up in the booth. Jacob Quill, man, what a way to get it done. So close. What a close finish. But it's great to see you here in Victory Lane. Definitely at a track like Michigan. Walk us through how you kind of got up to that position. Got a copy, Jacob?
Oh, I was zoning out. I'm sorry. Chris was
You're
asking me to do
good.
something.
So you won just barely. Had a great race. Was fast all race. Definitely on the long run. We saw a green flag pit stop there. You want to walk us through on how you kind of went through that race?
Um, the whole race, I don't know why anybody wasn't using the bottom in 3 and 4. Like, that line there was just so effective. Like, I don't know, just walking you through the race. I just knew I had to save my tires this race because if I didn't do that, there was just no way I was going to be able to keep up with everybody. Um, Pulled a little bit of strategy, pitted later than Tyler there in the later stages. Didn't have much going for me in the first half. But, started gaining on him, and then yellow comes out, right? And then I'm just waiting to see if he pits or not, because if he pit, I was going in. He didn't, yeah, whatever. I was just following him. But he went in, we grabbed all tires, and he had a bad stop, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, he was never able to get to us because me and Max just worked together so well. Good teammate chemistry there. That was really nice.
Well, yeah, going into in the last lap, we saw you had a good run. Going down the back straightaway. We saw you dive it down in there, and we did document very well that you were kind of the only one who really wanted to run the bottom there, but had a good run there, and we saw you get underneath there. Did you think that you would have really had a chance there without the 11 getting loose out of 3 and 4 there?
Oh, no way. I mean, I would have been satisfied either way. Teammate won too, and I first ever one for the team. So happy for our team there. But I wouldn't have gotten to him because the draft, when you were single if you were single, you're not going to get a lot of pull. So there was just no way I was going to be able to steamroll past him. So I knew I had to make the move going into 3 there. I knew I had to. So if I didn't do that, I probably wouldn't have won this race. But man, it was a great finish either way.
Well, it was
Man,
a great finish for sure there. I mean, before we let you go, anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors, shout outs, anybody watching at home?
I want to thank Max for not giving me an earful after the race because I think I doored him coming to the line. Yeah, I doored him, but I think I doored him really bad. I got to go look at that real quick. I want to see exactly what I did, but I think I was the one that instigated the dooring. Uh, okay, so one door was from Max coming to the line, and after that, coming to the checkers. Okay, we just kind of collided in the middle. So I don't know. But I want to thank Max for being a great teammate today. Kai Collymore worked with us at times and did a great job as well. But really Max though, because he was able just to stay with me the whole race. And that two tire strategy, I actually think what lost in the race is the 2 tire strategy, really, because he only took a right side. I took all 4s. I wasn't loose. He was. But yeah, I want to thank my team owner Aiden as well. I mean, I think he's really got a team that's really good this year. I want to thank Logan for actually allowing us to have a finish because Logan, when I was talking to him, he said he's already really damaged, so he's just not gonna battle us to the finish. And I was like, I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm happy.
yeah. Well, congrats on the win. Definitely was the one to beat today, and you were definitely really good last week at Daytona. So really have been a top contender throughout the season.
No, it's not. Gavin. I wasn't at Daytona.
My apologies there. But great job getting it done here at Michigan. That's how you do it. Photo finish at the line. I don't know, Christian, if you want to say anything else.
No, I mean, once again, just a great finish. Definitely put on a show for the fans at home. But like I said, we're gonna go ahead and let you go up there, celebrate with fans and family or your teammate there, and hopefully we can talk to you back up here in Victory Lane once again.
All right, yeah. Look forward to it this season.
All right. Yep. Take care.
Yeah, we'll do.
Man,
That was
what a
your race winner of Jacob Quill there, and Gavin, what a finish there for. I mean, you think about it, looking at the start of the race here, I mean, it seemed like a lot of the people just couldn't keep off each other. And, we saw some guys start to figure it out towards the end there. And then we had that long green flag run and then an exciting finish at the end. That's really everything you can kind of ask for within a race.
Yeah, really, like you just said, all you can ask for a race. Crazy to have a finish that close here at Michigan. Once again, Jacob Quill, our winner. Great race by him. So close for Max Ford. And same with a lot of the other drivers here up front. But man, it's fun being in the booth. It's fun having me in the booth every week, Christian. I want to thank you for having me in the booth tonight. Had a bunch of fun. So I want to also thank everyone for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And I'm gonna hand it to Christian.
Well, yeah, we always love having Gavin in the booth. You know, it's fun watching him learn and grow. You know, with his broadcasting skills and stuff like that. So always love having him in here. Also have to give a huge shout out to Carter Kingsley, up there producing and running the cameras. Unfortunately, had some technical difficulties, but you know, everybody has that every once in a while. So, but once again, guys, I have to give a huge shout out to all the guys running the league, Chase and Zachariah and all the guys who put everything else on in the background. You know, this league wouldn't be a thing if these guys weren't in the back running, working their butt off and everything. I have to give a huge shout out to all the high velocity guys back at home working their butt off trying to make this stuff go on in the background. But yeah, once again, guys, thank you guys so much for coming out watching the broadcast. If you guys would hit that like button on the live stream and also subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would mean a lot to us. You know, very small, trying to grow, trying to get our name out there. So, but besides that, guys, once again, exciting finish. Congrats to Jacob Quill for that amazing win here at Michigan. But we'll see you guys here um, within the next week here for some more broadcasts. So if you guys are looking if you guys know a league that are looking for any broadcast, make sure that, you know, send them our way. We're definitely looking for some more gigs. But besides that, guys, hope you guys, everybody here has a great rest of your Saturday night, and we'll see you guys here soon. So once again, guys, this was a HVTV production, and we'll see you guys soon.